everybody. Thank you for joining me for another APPify the Processes webinar. Today we have TSheets for time tracking. I'm glad to have you joining us today. My name is Michelle Long. I am a CPA and the owner of Long for Success. I'm the author of several different books. Those are available on Amazon if you want to check those out. Co-host of the award-winning Ultimate Accounting VCon. That's a 2-day virtual conference coming up in July. It's for accountants and bookkeepers, and we've got a lot of great content for you, so I'd love to have you join us for that. I'd invite you to join my LinkedIn group. It now has over 68,000 members. Successful QuickBooks Consultants, it's a great resource whenever you have some questions or things like that. Also, I'm thrilled to say I started teaching QuickBooks back in 1999, and then I started as a trainer for Intuit in the year 2007, and I've been thrilled to go across cities all across the U.S. And over the past year, I've also been going to cities all across Canada as well as Australia and even London. And it's a really fun story. Last summer, I was going over to London in August, and, you know, the Twinkies had just come back. Remember Twinkies went bankrupt and they just came back? And my husband works for Twinkies, and I thought, great, I'll take some Twinkies over there with me, right, to throw out to these people in London, these accountants and bookkeepers in London. I'll share Twinkies with them because I wanted something that they couldn't get in London. Well, lo and behold, because the Twinkies had just come back, I couldn't find any Twinkies. I finally found Target had like 4 boxes of Twinkies. So Jen from TSheets sends me an email and says, we have Twinkies for you. And I said, oh, that's no good. It was like Monday or Tuesday. I said, I'm leaving Wednesday. They said, no worries. We will overnight 4 boxes of Twinkies. So they overnighted me 4 boxes of Twinkies, and I then took 8 boxes of Twinkies carry-on with me to London to share with people over there. And it was great fun, but I thought it was a great idea for TSheets. So that was kind of fun. Oh, my goodness, I just messed up. Hold on here 1 second. I'm sorry. I have the wrong thing up there. Isn't that embarrassing?
No worries. I love hearing that story, though. It makes me smile, and it just goes to show that we really go out of our way to support our pros and just the people we work with, and certainly our clients. So I love that story, Michelle, and hopefully, I'm sure you got a few looks as you were going through customs with all those Twinkies.
Oh, yeah. That was embarrassing, as I have 80 Twinkies with me. But I just love, you guys at TSheets have these great marketing ideas, because not only did they do that, but we were presenting the QBO Freedom in the Cloud Roadshow there in Boise, Idaho, and you guys brought these things that were called Idaho Spuds, and they were little candy bars for us to give away to people, too. So you guys are always doing lots of fun, great things, so I appreciate that. And I apologize. We have Jesse Bryant who's joining us, and I messed up the bio slide there, so I apologize about that. But
no problem. Hi, everybody, and I'll just fill in for a second. You know, it's funny you mentioned all of these creative ideas that we have. We just packed pallets to send out to Scaling New Heights this year. They're going to ship out today, and I am so excited for those who are attending to be able to open that up and share what we've been planning over the last year. So if Twinkies are just one of those little crazy ideas we have, we've been spending a year on the Scaling New Heights theme, and it is going to be awesome.
Oh, that's going to be great. I'm sorry I'm going to have to miss that. You'll have to send me something.
I think we might.
Okay, well, great. We also have some prizes today from somebody who's attending live. You're going to get the chance to win either QuickBooks Accountant or QuickBooks Premier. We're also going to give away either a QuickBooks Practice Set or QBO Practice Set. You can choose one of those, and I'll autograph and send that off to you. And then somebody who's been attending all 6 of these webinars is going to be eligible to win QuickBooks Enterprise. That's valued at $3,000, so it's a pretty good prize there. Also, we've got a little APPify code. If you want to register for the Ultimate Accounting VCon, use the code APPify, and you can save some money when you check out. So what we're going to be talking about today is, first of all, I'm going to cover a little APPify the Processes overview. Then Jesse's going to take over, and she's going to talk about becoming a TSheets Pro and a really fun giveaway that they're doing right now. You can win some cold, hard cash. Then we're going to hear from one of your peers, Nancy Smith of software solutions. She's going to share a few of her stories with us. Jesse's going to talk more about who TSheets is right for, the payroll process, as well as give us a quick demo of how it works and go over the key features and integration with QuickBooks and QBO. So that's what we have coming up. Again, as you have questions, go ahead and type the questions in the question box, and we will answer some of those as we're going along, and then try to have time for more questions towards the end of the webinar today. So let's go ahead and review the APPify the processes. We've been talking about this all month now. And what we're talking about is helping these small businesses or your own practice to APPify the processes, to streamline these processes, feeding data into our accounting system so we don't have double entries, so we get everything operating more smoothly, more efficiently, and it helps with the productivity. And this is a great opportunity for us as accountants and bookkeepers to really help our clients to APPify the processes. So we talked first about Intuit and the App Center and the core accounting system that you have, whether it's QuickBooks, QuickBooks Online, or something else, you've got that core accounting system. But then you also have all these different functions of that business where they may have some inefficiencies. They may be doing double entry or manual data entry, and this is where there's an app for that. There's ways to streamline this process. And we started the webinar series talking about ScanWriter and how you can get those documents into QuickBooks or QuickBooks Online where you can process hundreds of transactions in a matter of minutes. So especially like if you got the PDF of the bank statement, things like that. Now we've already done the ScanWriter webinar, so that recording is out on my YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and search for Michelle Long, CPA, you can see the webinar for the ones that we've already done. So Intuit, ScanWriter, Bill.com, and Concur, we've already done those. Today we're talking about TSheets when it comes to HR, and you're going to hear how, all the steps that are involved with time tracking and getting the data in there and processing the payroll. TSheets is great to help you streamline that process, so you're going to learn about that today. Next week we're talking about Avalara, AppTax, getting sales taxes complied with. The sales taxes are so complex now that it's amazing. So many small businesses, it's so easy to get into trouble because those tax codes and tax laws are so complex, and people don't realize how challenging that is. And so we'll learn more about that next week. Then we talked about Bill.com, and again, that recording's out there on the YouTube channel. Bill.com is helping you to process those payables and receivables and manage those things a lot more efficiently and a lot more effective. And then also we talked about Concur, getting those expense reports and getting those expenses into QuickBooks and streamlining that aspect of things. So whatever the function is, we didn't really have one on inventory or job costing, but there's an app for that as well in the Intuit App Center, as well as when we're talking about POS or e-commerce. This is an opportunity for us, again, to APPify the processes and help our clients choose an app, implement that app, help them with the setup and training of that app, and the ongoing support for that app and things like that. So I'd encourage you to go ahead and register for Avalara next week and check out the recordings of those other webinars on my YouTube channel. Again, that's Michelle Long, CPA, and this is a great chance for you to grow your practice. Jesse, you want to go ahead and take over and talk about TSheets? Let me change presenters and pass you the ball. There you go. All right,
All
Jesse?
right. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can see it and we can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much, Michelle, for hosting us today. And everyone, my name is Jessie Bryant. I'm the Accountant Programs Director with TSheets. So I get to spend my days supporting our ever-growing number of accountants, bookkeepers, and pro advisors who are using TSheets for their own businesses, as well as recommending TSheets to their clients as a solution to their automated time tracking needs for payroll. So we are excited to be here. And just a little bit about TSheets. We've been around since 2006, but it's funny, Joe Woodard, he referred to us as the the 8-year-old overnight success story, because I think it's really been in the last year or so, especially after our integration with QuickBooks, that we were really put out there in front of the pro advisor community. So it has been so much fun to meet and talk with and show all of you out there this time tracking solution for your clients. We've been on a mission ever since 2006 to stamp out the manual and duplicate time entry. So we are a time tracking program that employees all over the world love to use. In fact, we have tens of thousands of active TSheets clients. creating timesheets in over 30 countries. We have been in QBO Canada for a while, but just announced our official launch into their app center there, with more announcements coming shortly. So a lot of exciting things happening with Intuit right now. So just time tracking made easy. I plan on showing you the TSheets dashboard further along in this presentation, but wanted you to see how TSheets looks on a number of different devices, as well as hint to a few of our great features, including GPS, paid time off and overtime alerts, mobile options, punch style manual time entry options. So before we get into that, though, I do want to talk about our Pro program. We love, just as Michelle said earlier, to take care of our Pro advisors, and so we have a unique program for Pro advisors, bookkeepers, accountants, and CPAs who want to share TSheets with their clients. First of all, it's free to join. Just show us who you are. You get a free year of TSheets for your own company usage, gets you familiar with the product there, but then you have an affiliate code that you're able to share with your clients so that they can receive a discount. We have a 10% savings for them, and then you in turn receive 20% commission on the clients that you refer to us. And as always, and I will talk about this again, we provide all the training and support to you and your clients for free. Our goal is to create an amazing experience for them and to make you look good. We realize that you have your own businesses to run, so we take it upon ourselves to make sure that if you turn them over to us, we give them an awesome experience. So you can find out more later on. We can sign up at the tsheets.com/pros. And then I have a little shout out to the webinars that happen every week. Both Greta and Victoria, who is our in-house Pro advisor, do webinars. One is just a basic intro to TSheets, and that's the one that Greta does here. Or Victoria does a QuickBooks specific webinar on Thursdays, and so you can find it at that website as well. And I know that Michelle will post the PDF of these slides, so you'll have all of these website links after the program today. Michelle also mentioned we are giving away some cash this year. It is our first ever 10K Pro Referral Challenge, and we are so excited about this. So it's very easy. It basically just what you're already doing, referring TSheets to your clients. It gives you points, and we'll be giving away cash to 3 top Pro advisors who've referred clients over the course of starting now until October 1st is the end date for this contest. So find out more at tsheets.com/10K. Really fun program contest that we're running. So, and plus I've just been able to engage with so many new pros over the last couple weeks as we've been getting started. So leave it to TSheets to do something crazy, and this is just the start. So we're excited about that. We love our pros, and I am really thrilled that Nancy Smith has agreed to join us today. This slide, I got to say, I think I'm breaking most of the PowerPoint rules for slide creation here, but she has so many accolades to her name. She's done so much with QuickBooks, and especially within the contracting industry over the years, that we couldn't put all of the mentions there. But this picture was one that she posted yesterday of her beautiful garden, these peony tulips, and I just thought they were perfect for today. So Nancy, President of Sunburst Software Solutions, thank you for joining us. I would love for you to just take a few moments to introduce yourself and then just talk about, as far as TSheets goes with your clients, why it's just such a no-brainer to refer us to clients that need a solution for time tracking.
Wow, Jess, I am just absolutely overwhelmed with such a wonderful introduction. And Michelle, thanks so much for having me here today. For anybody who doesn't know me very well, I've been working with Intuit products since, roughly 1986. First Quicken, and then gradually working into QuickBooks. Every job that I have ever had and every bookkeeping client I have ever had, I've been up to my elbows in payroll. And I'll tell you, early on in my career, I would have sold my soul. Oh, heck, I would have given my soul to anybody who could have automated time tracking the way TSheets does today. In the mid-90s, one of my first certified payroll experiences involved a ironworker contractor. They built bridges. We had 125 employees on 5 different jobs in 2 states with 3 different unions. I was given a weekly timesheet for each job, and I entered all of that manually into QuickBooks. Sometimes I was touching one employee timesheet 5 different times to get all the hours in. I had 40+ hours every week of doing absolutely nothing but payroll, and seriously, if TSheets had been around then, I would have put the burden of responsibility elsewhere. Being a bookkeeper or being a payroll clerk sitting in the office, we never know where the heck those guys are, and having to rely on hand-scratched, handwritten timesheets means that we're tracking people down left and right to figure out which of the 13 Peters or Jose's or Johns or whatever was the one that was on this specific job. Today it's a no-brainer. I highly recommend TSheets to all of our customers, and the new payroll mapping feature, oh my goodness, I am just thrilled to death that that came to be. You know, put the time tracking responsibilities and the burden on the people in the field, have them log in with their app, select the job that they're on, what kind of a task they're performing, and you as the administrator have already mapped the payroll item that they're going to be used for compensation. Makes time tracking absolutely a breeze, and it leaves us to do what we as payroll clerks should be doing, and making sure that the employees are paid accurately and those paychecks get out the door on time. Nobody, but nobody wants to spend 3 days entering time cards.
Oh, Nancy, I thank you so much. That I just, it makes me smile. It's fun from ear to ear. And I want to say that the payroll mapping feature was actually something suggested by Nancy. We'd been mulling it around, and it had been on our list for a while, but she really put just said, hey guys, you've got to do this. If you're going to get more into the contracting industry, we need to provide a solution for this. And so we kind of put it to the top of the priority list, and it's just an example of listening to our clients, what they need. Now, there's more to come with this feature. It'll be more robust as we get more feedback from users, and Nancy's helped us with that so much. But that, Nancy, that was all you getting that done, waiting patiently until the development team rolled that out, and we've been excited to add that to our growing list of features for our clients. So thank you.
I've had a chance to play with that, and I've been really putting it through its paces, and man, I'm telling you, that is going to be so slick.
Well,
you know, I mean, you guys just took your product to a whole nother level, and it really made it attractive to a much bigger segment of the construction industry.
Thank you. Well, talk a little bit, if you wouldn't mind. You had shared with me once just a conversation you'd have with the client. They had concerns about pricing, and we'll talk about pricing later on. But what was your response to them?
Oh my God, that was the funniest conversation, and I still crack up over about it. I'm talking to this client who's down in Florida, and she's got like 50 employees. And I said to her, God, you know, you really need TSheets. And she said, well, I've looked at it, and oh, it's so expensive. And I said, expensive? What do you mean? What are you talking about? And she said, well, it's blah, 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 blah. And I said, whoa, wait, let's stop the truck here. You know, how much do you pay your payroll clerk on an hourly basis? And she said, well, I pay her blah, blah. I said, okay, how many hours a week is she spending manually entering those timesheets out of Excel? And she said, well, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, you know, take X and multiply it times Y. What does that add up to? I don't want to know the amounts. I said, now, here's the kicker. How many hours a week is she spending tracking down the supervisors or the job foreman to figure out you know, what this name is, or how many hours this really ought to be because something's handwritten, or God forbid they've stepped on it and you got a muddy boot print, or there's coffee all over it. And by now she's cracking up and she says, you know, when you put it that way, and I said, okay, you know, let's take and look at the bigger picture. You know, multiply that, how many hours times whatever the rate is per week. Let's look at that on a monthly basis. You know, is TSheets still expensive? You know, take it one step farther. Multiply that times 12. That's the cost of the, you know, a year. Is TSheets still really expensive?
Yeah.
And I said, besides, I said, how many times do you walk into your payroll clerk's office and you see her with a long face? You know, or how many times does she say, if I have to enter one more stinking timesheet, I'm going to, like, rip my hair out. You know, I mean, she was just, I mean, we were both cracking up. But, you know, people get these weird ideas in their head, mainly because they say, well, you know, I got a payroll clerk and I'm paying her anyway, so she might just well do this.
Well, it's so true, and I think that that's where we need to think about it in just looking at an annual time and amount. So that is helpful, and I just love that story. We actually wrote a blog post about it and featured Nancy in it. But it's a great way as you talk with your clients about the value of TSheets. So I love it. Nancy, you are so great to join us today, and I look forward to the next time that we can meet in person. But keep the feedback coming, always just suggesting ways to make TSheets a better fit for client needs. So.
Well, you know I'm not shy.
That's what we love about you.
And I will tell you, anybody who's interested in TSheets, QuickBooks Payroll, going out to our certified payroll program, it's a whole smooth sail. I did a webinar or a Google Plus Hangout back in February, and I actually did a demo using QuickBooks Desktop, and it was just it was just incredibly smooth, and it was just, oh, yep, you know, I'll just download that time, we'll issue the paychecks, and poof, you know, we're done. We're rocking and rolling.
I know. People don't believe it until they see it and see it for themselves. So, well, good. Thank you, Nancy, for joining me today. And I will, I'm going to actually show them a little bit of that, although using QBO today in my demo. So. All right, well, I'm going to keep on going. So we talked a little bit about TSheets as a company, but maybe you're thinking now, you know, I've got clients who is a fit for TSheets. And this is just a nice little checklist that you can go through. Really, most of our companies, the majority, do have hourly employees. However, many on salary use this as well, and that's because it does help with job costing and overall time budgeting for projects and customers. Our direct integration with QuickBooks Desktop and online products is also a huge plus for many businesses. So this means there's a one-click sync of that timesheet data into the company's QuickBooks file, and then your payroll gets run in a snap. Let's talk a little bit more about payroll. So TSheets offers many ways to simplify this process for you and your small business clients. And I've got a question here that I'd love for Michelle to push out. We had a stat back in one of the webinars we did. I was amazed that 62% of small businesses said they still use a spreadsheet to do payroll, to manually do payroll. So I'm curious to whether you have clients who are using the manual time cards to gather payroll as well. So let's see, yeah, we still have some pretty high numbers coming in the 70s there. And I know that not everyone does payroll, and so that's, I might have skipped that poll question as well, but every small business has to run payroll at some point. So I know there's people that you know that are in your business or clients that you have that you're always looking for a solution for. Okay, so yeah, 68%. Looks like we're hovering right there. You can go ahead and close that poll, Michelle. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, still running manual payroll. So very, very interesting. All right, I just wanted to show quickly the payroll process with TSheets. We had put we have an awesome flyer on our resources page that shows the full payroll process, and Nancy, as well as a few other pros, helped us put together that full list, and it's just amazing what people are still doing manually. So if you look at, we're breaking this down, but seeing within this payroll process that TSheets can encompass and take care of so much of that, including calculating the employee time, jobs, days, work classifications, whether it's regular time or overtime, gross wages, and then calculating the paid time off hours, accruals throughout the year so that you're not having to do that manually. And then moving on, taking out that whole duplicate entry within your systems, breaking it out, and so that you can get clear reports on where the time is going. These are just a few of the things that TSheets can take care of. So we do have an alternative now. So overtime alerts, an audit trail in the instance of a labor dispute, court-ordered record requests, or an audit. You can set the approvals, eliminate the duplicate entry of hours. So just a lot of big things that TSheets can take care of within your payroll process. So like I said, I'm going to demonstrate in just a bit with QBO a quick integration with TSheets and pulling some time over into our QuickBooks Online account. But you can see how easy it is. Once you set that up, you connect with QuickBooks and then just run the sync manager if you're using desktop, or just the direct sync through the cloud. We even have the web connector option for those who need to use that, and maybe those within other countries that are using Intuit products. You can import your employees, customers, job codes, classes, service items, whether you want billable or non-billable options there, even vendors as employees if you're needing to invoice. And then you can set up your system of approval. So if you have managers over groups, you can set that up where they can approve that timesheet and then get it ready to export into QuickBooks to show up in the time cards for payroll. So this is just a nice little snapshot of the process that TSheets uses there. All right. So more about payroll in just a moment when we get into the demo, but I'd also like to say that, you know, one of our biggest features is that we accommodate this mobile workforce as more and more people are working outside the office. And not to say, I mean, I work in the office 95% of the time, maybe not during trade show season, but I will use my laptop and mobile device both concurrently to track my time. But it's so great, and that's why with Nancy in the contracting industry, they love TSheets because you've got crews out in the field needing to track time against projects, and then you can use the native apps or even our TSheets Touch if you have an old style phone or a Windows device. We have options for text messaging, for dialing in, Spanish options for crews, and even Twitter. You can tweet in your time, which is really fun. So a lot of options for everybody in this mobile world that we live in. Employee accountability. So they take charge of their time cards by clocking in, clocking out using the punch style time card. They can switch between job codes or projects, add any notes to the timesheets that are needed. If you are using just manual time for salary base or just allowing employees to control that, you have that option as well. And I'll show you what that looks like again in just a moment. We're not just a timer. TSheets doesn't open up and then close out when you close out of the app. This is not a stopwatch, folks. You can keep that accurate time even when the application is closed. Run payroll. We have over 20 reports that you can run that really give you a good idea of what's happening with time in your company. Our integration with QuickBooks, like I said, it's one of our proudest moments. It really was huge for us, and it creates that ability to connect a company file and have that one sync option there, just eliminating so many steps within your payroll process. So you can approve which time goes into QuickBooks, and then you have those records and logs kept so that you're not that employee or business owner that's searching for time cards for a year ago in case you need it. You've got that system log right there. So one more poll question before we get into the demo, because I really would like to showcase, this is the APPify webinar. I want to talk about apps and using them to run businesses more efficiently, yours or your clients. So Michelle, if you would pull out the other question about using apps from the Intuit App Center, who has done it to enhance their QuickBooks experience? And I'd love to see, I'm pretty sure we have a very savvy audience with Intuit products, but yeah, I'd just like to know in case I need to expand on that a little bit more. So yeah, about 40 to 60, 40% saying yes, they are familiar and have used apps in the Intuit App Center. I love seeing that. That's a great percentage there. 60% no. Okay, good to know. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this demo here. So I've pulled up my QuickBooks Online demo account, and this is, you can find us within the App Center. This is how it looks for here. I wish I had a Harmony version because I really love Harmony, but I'm going to use the classic version now. You'll find us in the mobile segment there, and just to call attention to this page really quick, as you come into our app page where you would choose to try it now, which we'll do in a moment. If you've got any question about the type of customer support that you will receive or your clients when you work with TSheets, we're so proud of our 5-star rating. We are the top-ranked time tracking application within the Intuit ecosystem, and I highly recommend coming down and just reading the reviews. Hey, you can talk to Shane if you want. We've got our live chat options there as well if you've got questions. But just read the reviews. These are unbiased, unsolicited reviews from people who are actually using our product right now. So go ahead and take a look at those. But we're going to do, it's a very simple syncing. We're going to say the try it now, and that's going to open up a window for us that will let us select our company file that we're wanting to connect. So it lets us choose. We're going to go with a QuickBooks Online, and I'm going to select my company file right here. If you have multiple company files, just make sure you select the right one, and we're going to choose Continue. So that's going to talk to TSheets, and we're going to authorize that to connect. Just a few moments. You're not going to believe how easy this is. All right, so welcome to TSheets. I'm going to actually create a new account for this purpose, but if you already have an existing TSheets account, you would select the link to the current TSheets account there. Let's hit Create. I'm going to put my company URL that I'd like to use, put in a number, and just select Done, and that's going to open up a new window and let me know how I can initially do an import to connect both accounts. All right. Welcome to the TSheets dashboard. We are a web-based system, so that means you can log in from anywhere that you can get on the internet, which makes it so nice if you're managing your company from the beach in Mexico. Log in and see everybody on the clock, approve the time, and export it. You can do it as long as you've got an internet access. It's so great. You can see I've got a preferences window that's popped up here as I get started. I can choose to import customers and jobs. If I want to show service items on my timesheets, I can do that as well. Classes, import vendors. I'm going to unselect the service items for this as well, just for this purpose, but you can change these preferences at any time, and I'm going to hit Next. So what it's going to tell me is it's time to do my first import, and it'll show me right there how to do that. So I'm going to go over here to my QuickBooks menu, green button in the upper right-hand corner, drop that down and select Import. And that is pulling in that information from my QuickBooks account right now. And it looks like I've got a successful sync that I can then open up the sync log to see everybody who's come in. Looks like I've got the employees there, some service items, customers, looking good. Now, just to mention, once I do that, it says I've successfully done my first import, and it gives me some next steps. So as a new client to TSheets, you're able to see all the instructions you need to get started, which is so helpful. All right, so just to open up the dashboard here, we can see that we've got a punched out time card. I can see who's working. Looks like nobody's on the clock right now, but if I expand that, I can see all of my potential employees that would be on the clock. I'm looking at this view as an administrator on this account, so I can see everything. As an employee with given permissions, it would look a little bit different, and my menu items would reflect that along that left-hand side. So before we get into the actual tracking of time, I would just like to point out that the punch style is for anyone wanting to just doing clock in time. So you can see it was easy as me selecting the customer, and what that does is it puts me up on the time clock here on the who's working window and starts my task total, day total, and week total wherever I'm at. I can also add notes to this field and save it to this time card. When that goes over to my connected QuickBooks account, that shows up in that description field, so it's always nice to have those attached. Now, if I'm done working on this customer, I can just select another one that's assigned to me to continue working, and it's literally just a click of the button. Clocks me out of that first customer, clocks me into the next one that I'm working on right there. Now, if I had chosen to add service items, that would be a required option that I'd need to fill in at this time. Also, if it was billable or non-billable, I would need to select that at this time as well. All right, I'm going to clock off, and we're going to go right into a manual time card. If you want your employees to have access to the manual time card, it's one of those customization options that you get to choose. They can open up a spreadsheet style time card. You can see there. I'm actually going to switch users, and I'm going to fill in some time for one of my employees, Bruce. Where are you, Bruce? There you are. I'm going to switch to his little time card here. So Bruce Wayne, let's fill in some time so that we can get it exported over to QuickBooks. I'm going to go back a week just so I don't confuse anything within QuickBooks, and I'm going to select which customer Bruce is working on. Let's say he's got some time with City of Metropolis, and I'm just going to fill in time for his last work week here. So I'll select the pane, put 8 hours there, 8 hours there. Maybe he worked a really easy schedule here, and I'm going to put some notes on Wednesday. I'll say the Joker was out and about, so we're going to save that note. And you'll see once I did that, I get a little red tick on the corner, and that just tells me that I have a note attached to that time card. Perhaps the rest of the week he was working on some other projects. We'll say he spent some time with the National Security Agency, and round out the week there. So it looks like he has 33 hours on the clock. I'm going to save that time, and his work week is done. Okay, as a manager, time to approve the timesheets for that last week. So I am going to go into my reports tab, and I'll take away that punch style time card so we don't get confused. Reports here. Number of reports that you have the options of doing. I mean, pretty much whatever you're trying to find information out about the time, what customers you've tracked time against, service items that you've been using, billable time, it's all under here. But we're going to look under commonly used, and that will take us to our approvals report. So let's go ahead and run that. I can select a number of options for date ranges here, but let's go back to that week where we had time, and I'm leaving that blank. It'll just pull up anyone who's had time during that week. So now we see that Bruce has his 33 hours. I'm just going to select approve. Now if I had all of my employees with time and it looked great, I would just select check all and approve all, and I could do that in just a couple of clicks. I'd also like to point out that I can view the details here by selecting this option, and it'll just pull up a nice little diagram of how Bruce spent his time last week or during this period that I've pulled the report for. And I see that he's spent time on a couple of customers. If there's any notes there, I can see that as well. And since it's approved, I have this lock icon, and that protects me from making any changes once that time has been approved. So looks great. Let's go and head out. And now I'm ready to export that time to my QuickBooks account. So going back up to my menu, I'm going to export all approved time. It'll pull up a window that just lets me know that I'm approving these hours. I can even look at those details again. Looks great. And export that time. And you'll see that blue bar go across, and it's going to export that time into my account. All right. So now let's go into our employees, and we're going to go into the weekly timesheet. All right, I should have showed you that the time wasn't there before, but I know that you'll believe me. So I'm going back to that week where we pulled that time, and just like magic, all of that time shows up here, and you even have the notes about the Joker being out and about, and it is ready to save and run payroll right from here. So that's, what, a couple of minutes to set that up and get that time over. Imagine the time that you will save and the cost savings by just connecting that QuickBooks account. All right, let's finish up these slides so we can get to the questions. All righty. QuickBooks is not our only integration. In fact, we have for years integrated with other accounting software. Most are through a flat file integration, so if you have clients that might use ADP, Paychex, Sage, or other programs, very likely we can integrate with them using an Excel file or a CSV file with that report that matches up. So just give us a call and we can let you know if we are able to work with that program. We've just recently announced our complete integration with Zen Payroll, which is really exciting for us, and we've been integrated with Zendesk for years. So a lot more announcements for integrations on the way, but just to put that out there in case you have clients that are using products other than QuickBooks. I did talk about our customer support, and it's no lie, if you've ever had an experience with anyone on our team, it's usually very surprising to people the level of support that they receive. So you get a call from us right away when you set up your account if there's ever any questions, and even within the dashboard, I should have showed you, there's a chat feature if we're online that you can put those questions out to us and we will get back to you with a very quick response time. So again, we do have those weekly webinars for demos, but if you're needing something more one-on-one for your clients, just give us a call and we're happy to set those up as well, something that works with both of your schedules. Very easy to use. In fact, it's almost unbelievable how easy it is. So take a look, ask the questions. We've got lots of support materials and reports that you can access as you get started with TSheets. Never hesitate to reach out with your questions. We are more than happy and very excited to show you how to use this amazing product. So let's talk a little bit what Nancy explained with her client, that payback. What are you spending on running payroll and tracking time versus what you could be saving? We have an awesome payback calculator on our resources page that actually puts in the numbers for you. It makes it so easy to talk about TSheets with your clients and show them the potential savings. In fact, just by automating time tracking, small businesses show that they save over, this is just an average, many save more than this, over 2% in their gross payroll costs. And that is because so much of the costs in businesses are tied to payroll, the taxes that you're paying out, the benefits, the insurance. So just by automating, taking care of paying for the time actually worked, employers can save a lot of money. And that's just a little breakdown there. So, and this is all through the APA. You can see it on our website, and it makes it a lot easier to share that with your clients. So kind of fun to talk about. All right, pricing. You know, I'm just now realizing, Michelle, that I forgot to put a slide about that. But we have a pricing page that's very easy to read. Basically, $20 per month, up to 100 users. That's your monthly base fee. $5 per user. So if you have 5 employees using TSheets, 5 times 5 is 25, plus that $20 base fee brings you up to $45 a month. Now, if you are a pro offering them a 10% discount, right there, that saves them almost $5 a month there. We have other specials that we like to run as well. And then again, I challenge anyone to just give us a try, run for a few payroll periods, see the cost savings. TSheets more often than not pays for itself right away. So don't hesitate to do that. So that is it for the slideshow. And I'd love to get to some discussion and questions if we've got time.
We do have some time. So Jesse, if you could go ahead and go back into the demo. We had some people asking some questions about where does TSheets pull the job numbers and the project numbers from? Can you show how a service item would work? And then also some people had some questions, what if you're not using QuickBooks Payroll? So other options. So, and yeah, go ahead and show them there the billable option and how that might flow through, because a lot of people I know are working with construction or contractors, and they had some questions about that.
Sure. So this is pulling from your information in QuickBooks. So if you've got payroll amounts that are set for different jobs, service items, billable, non-billable, that's all going to come in. Now, what I just am doing now, I'm going back into my preferences. I'm selecting that I do want to pull in the service items, and I do want them to have the option of billable or non. So now you have to make sure if I've got to see if I've got billable rates actually attached to these job codes. Hopefully I do. So if I'm selecting one of my customers here, clocking in, what's going to happen is it's going to require that I choose whether this is billable or non-billable. So I skip that. And then this is my service item list. So again, these are all coming in from QuickBooks, what you set up there. And it's what's assigned to me. So there may not be, I might not have every service item within QuickBooks, just those that I'm working on. So you can see for myself, let's say I'm doing some crime fighting right now, and I can save that there. So that's attached to this timesheet here. Now I can also, as an administrator, manage timesheets in here and be able to see and edit from here if it's billable, non-billable, crime fighting. That's another view of that. Within my account, let's see here. And Heather, I don't know if she's got a headset, or she might have some more insight into the QuickBooks and how that comes in.
And
I know what I can.
So I have a question there on those notes. Do those notes come through if the time is billable? Can you pull that through so that you can have a description of the work or the services performed? Can that note come through to the invoice?
Yes, it can. So let's see. Let's go ahead and track some time here if it's billable. I'm hoping that I've got billable amounts, so we'll hope that that happens. Let's do a time card for Elastica.
And so this will get the job costing information allocated in QBO?
It will have the notes there. And Heather, do you mind expanding on that if you could, if you're listening and have, while I'm inputting the information for that?
Heather has herself muted.
Heather?
Hi there.
Hi.
Sorry about that.
No, I kind of pulled you in. You're probably answering
no
questions.
No worries. So once they enter the time with the billable service item and the notes, everything will get exported to QuickBooks, including the billable choice. Is that what the question was?
Yeah, like is it billable or not? And then if it is billable and you've got a note or a description, is that going to come through onto the invoice, like for the work that they performed and stuff?
On the invoice. So I know that it shows up on the weekly timesheets in the description field. To be honest, I don't actually know if it shows up on the actual invoice for the customer. My guess is yes, but I don't want to,
And I know in the desktop version you can tell it that you want to pull those things through on an invoice. I just wasn't sure in QBO whether you could or not.
Yeah.
So that'd be something people would want to test.
Jesse, are you going to be going into QuickBooks Online and running an invoice maybe for one of the customers?
Yeah, let's try to do that. So I'm going to approve this time for, now I've got Elastica. It's got some hours there. So let's go ahead and export that. She's got some billable time, and I guess I didn't put any notes, but that's okay. So now we're going to go back here, drop down. Oops, let's choose the right. Thanks for bearing with me. So we've got her time in. We've got the billable rates that show up here. And then I'm going to actually...
And a quick question, when the manager is approving the time, if they, let's say they have 5 entries for the week, can they only approve 4 of them? Is it an all or nothing when you do the approval process?
Well, you select the time period that you're wanting to run that for, and you can set up your the pay period, and so that's usually what it will run at, unless you want to do something differently. Now, it can get a little tricky if you're breaking up the week. And Heather, you might answer that question while I'm working on this, but
yeah. So the way the approvals work is you'll have to, select the date range that you want to run the approvals report. So you can run it daily and just approve daily. But if you run it for a week or a month or a 3-week period, you're going to be approving that full period. You can't just approve some of those hours intermixed into that period, if that makes sense.
It looks like I don't have Elastica set up on my payroll, even though I ran time. We've added a few employees there, but this is how, now you're saying in invoicing, the question was about on the invoice as a vendor.
Was it invoicing for a vendor or invoicing for a customer?
Well, we were talking about when either the subcontractor or the employee enters their time and they put notes in there, then does that note come through on the description? And that might be something that we want to test out, and we can follow up with them later if we need to.
Okay.
So it definitely shows up on the weekly timesheet. We're just not sure about the invoice.
So, and that's where I have to, let's see if I wonder who did I track time? It's been a while since I had done the actual job costing. I did a job costing hangout. It's on our YouTube site and our Google Plus page that does show how it comes across if you're needing to invoice clients. And so that would probably be the best way to show that rather than not spend too much time on it. But you can see if it's set up right. And I had just set up this demo account to show time exporting over. So maybe we'll have to do a follow-up down on just that topic. That would be fun.
That would be fun. I know a lot of people have questions about that. So yeah, that would be fun to do that.
Well, and then we could get our in-house pro advisor, Victoria, who works within the QuickBooks product a lot more than I do, and she's an awesome. She knows everything, so she could get in there and show you right away.
Well, very cool. Now, we had a few people asking about what the employees see when they're putting in their time and stuff like that. But usually, I know I can't display my iPad or my phone. So, do you have a picture of that? Or
yeah, let's do that. I do. I'm going to pull this down.
No, you hadn't asked for that.
No, that's good.
Canada, yes, they do work in Canada now too.
Yes, we are really excited about that. Let's go into these pictures if you can see them. So you want to give your employees permission to track time mobily if that's what you're wanting them to do, and that's just one of those selections under as you're setting up the employee settings. You can give them permission to do that. This is our Android app, and it's awesome. We pulled this out last summer. It's been a great success for us. So you can see right there, it looks very similar to the punch-style time card on the dashboard, where I can select my customer. If I am required to put a service item, it will show that as well. I can add notes if I need to. It will give me a nice overview of my time on this first window. And one thing I really love about the Android app is that it has this circle red T in the upper left-hand corner, which tells me that I'm currently on the clock. So that's a really nice feature to have. If I'm switching job codes, I'll select switch, check my service item, add any notes if I need to, and it automatically takes me from that previous customer and clocks me into the current customer. So it's easy to use. This is a shot of our iPhone app. This is getting a whole remake. In fact, we're shooting for a July release of a new iPhone application, and I haven't seen the user interface for it, but I'm guessing it's going to look very similar to the Android app, but we are really excited. But in the meantime, and this is what I clock in with every day, just very similar to that punch-style time card where you can select clock in, select the customer, a task you're working on, if that's how you want your employees to show what they're working on, add any notes, and then if they're given permission for manual time entry on both the Android and the iPhone apps, they have the ability to enter time there. And then you know, what I didn't have in this demo is a shot of the GPS map point, but it's on some of the slides. You can see how that looks to an employer if they wanted to see where that clock in and clock out actually happen. This is just a screenshot of our TSheets Touch. So this is if you're needing to access your account just from the web, or you have a Windows phone, or a non-smartphone, I guess you would say. You can use TSheets just the same way by selecting the customer and adding the time there. Old style phones, a lot of people still have them, as a matter of fact, and so if you can multi-tap, you can still use TSheets clocking in and clocking out. And also, just to reiterate, you can select to have a dial-in, a number that's specific to your company that your employees can call into. It's an additional charge. It's $1.50 a month because we do use a third-party provider for that number. Same with text. That is an additional charge, but you have the option as well where you text in, you know, your clock in and clock out times to a phone line designated to your company. And then I love showing this. This is the tweets, the Twitter. This capability was brought about because of our international clients. There were a lot of clients that just didn't want to mess with the phone providers or, you know, dealing with any of that, and so they could clock in and clock out to our Twitter feature, our Twitter handle. So I don't actually understand. This is it's very technical for me, but all I know is that it works, and I've used it, and it's awesome. So you can tweet in your clock in and clock out times and put it and even add notes. It's pretty phenomenal.
How cool is that?
And then our Crew app, it's very similar. It's built into the Android app, but you can see that you have the ability to manage a group of people if you're out in the field. Maybe not everybody has a smartphone or device, and you are assigned those employees. Clock them in, clock them out, break up the crew, switch them to different projects, add the notes that you need to. It gets all that time in. And I will say that anyone on the crew, that's considered a user because you're clocking in time to their accounts. But great feature for our contractors, landscapers, anyone out in the field that are managing a group of people. So yeah, hopefully that helps.
That is awesome. Thank you, Jessie. I'm
sure
going to take control again. I wanted to go ahead and show everybody. Here's the screen with Jessie. I apologize for not having the bio slide up there to begin that, but that is Jessie. And the bio slide is in your handout, so when you download it, you will have her contact information and everything. And then, Jessie, if you might quickly, can you review this again, because there was a couple of questions about the Pro and then the special offer that you have. So you want to give me a quick overview of this again?
Thank you. So tsheets.com/pros, you'll find a registration page, and I would actually go ahead and just enter the contest. That'll be the best way to do both at one time, where you register for the 10K, sign up to be a pro. What you'll receive from us is an affiliate code. You'll get your own TSheets account, essentially, that you can use for your own company, get familiar with. We're happy to help you as you're getting that set up as well. And then that affiliate code, so maybe it's your company name, maybe it's your name, whatever you'd like that to be, that's what you'll share with your clients. So when they try out an account and activate that, they can use that code as a coupon code almost, and that will give them 10% off of their account for the first year, and then it will link them to you so that we will know to connect you with the commission there. So very easy. If you have questions, again, my contact info was on that slide. You can give our support line a call. There's also other ways. I will say that we love to support our pros in other ways too, whether they're out at shows and would like a custom flyer to promote TSheets, let us know. We'll send you a file that you can download all day long. If you, we have a Pros We Trust page, which just showcases the pros. It kind of promotes you to our clients who may be looking for someone to work with them on their bookkeeping, payroll, taxes, whatever it may be. And so if you're interested, it takes us some time to get those write-ups on, but we're happy to add you to that and put all of your contact information on there so that other people can find you. And then just if you've got meetings, maybe you're part of a NAN group or a meetup group and would love to have us present TSheets to your meeting, we love to send swag, whether it be our super soft t-shirts or other things to make those meetings really engaging, informative, and fun. And we're, just ask. So we're happy to help and support you in any way we can. And again, just meeting you out if you're out in the shows, or we're actually going to be part of the Ultimate Accounting VCon as well. with Michelle coming up in a few months. Love to engage with pros and get your feedback too about what you'd like to see from us. So just don't hesitate to reach out. We really want to make your experience amazing.
Well, very cool. Yes, thank you, Jesse. And yeah, you guys are amazing. You are everywhere, and you guys are always a lot of fun. Definitely your booths have got to be the funnest, I think, of anybody.
Oh, thank you. Just wait, yeah.
Yes. So I want to thank everybody for joining us, and again, remind you to check out the webinars if you've missed them. The other APPify webinars, Intuit, ScanWriterBill.com, and Concur are available on my YouTube channel. It's Michelle Long, CPA. TSheets will be available out there later today, and then register for Avalara next week. We'd love to have you join us for that. Some of you still had questions. Remember, they have a webinar every Wednesday where they go into more detail, can answer your questions, or follow up with an email as well, and they will be able to help answer your additional questions. And I encourage you to go ahead and sign up as a pro, as well as register for that contest for the 10K sign-up. That's a great opportunity to win some cold hard cash. And Jesse, I'm going to ask you one last question. Somebody said, without talking negatively about any other applications that might be out there, but what makes TSheets special? What differentiates you guys from the competitors?
Well, I think one of the main things is that automated timestamp log. I didn't really focus on it too much within this webinar because I went mainly for the payroll route, but if you are just needing an audit trail, an actual log of any changes that have been made within the account, adjustments to time cards, just reporting, that is something that a lot of the other competitors may not have. And we are DCA compliant if that's something that you have clients that need that, whether they're working with government contracting or Department of Labor standards. We're able to turn that functionality on. We have a special function feature for our California employers that deal with some very interesting regulations and overtime issues. So we've got special features that we can turn on for you there. And then, yeah, just basically the GPS, having the ability to work within the mobile applications that way, and that one-way sync is just huge.
Fabulous. Well, thank you again, Jesse. I really appreciate it. Nancy, thank you for joining us and sharing some of your stories as well. And Heather, thanks for helping out with the questions and everything. And thank you to everybody who's attended today. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us and learn more about TSheets. And I'll see you on some other webinars. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.